Hi, everyone. For those of you who are taking the time to watch this video, I just want to say thank you and welcome to the Psyche in Me. Now, if you're wondering what in the world is the Psyche in Me, don't scroll past, don't exit the video. Stay with me for a few moments so we can chat it up. My name is Brittany, and I am the founder of the Psyche in Me. First and foremost, let's just get something cleared up right away. This has nothing to do with being a sidekick or reading minds. Can't do that. However, it has everything to do with our very own psyche. And throughout this journey together, we'll be discussing what the psyche truly is and what it really means psychologically, spiritually, and personally. I also want to be transparent. So, I am a faith based spiritual being, and so you will hear me or see me reference God. However, this is a community created for everyone because everyone has a psyche within them. While I will never denounce my Heavenly Father, I also recognize that healing reaches people in different places and at different stages. I was given this vision on September the 11th, 2023. And there's a special person, y'all, that I have to shout out. And her name is Prophetess Bonita Lowe, who spoke into my life specifically regarding God's prosperity and the psyche of God. Some of you may know, while others may not, but I do have a master's degree in clinical psychology. So I understood what the psyche meant in a psychological sense, but what I didn't fully understand at that time was its biblical meaning, its Greek and ancient Greek origins, and its deeper connotations and what it represents in both the spiritual and natural realms. Now, you may be asking, why now? So, let me just be real, raw, and transparent with y'all. I honestly thought I wasn't hearing God clearly because I didn't feel like I was where I should be in him. And even though I was helping others through my past and current work, I constantly second guess myself. Like, as we would say, I was like double minded. I would ask myself things like, is this God speaking or is this just my own thoughts? Even though I have prayed and fasted specifically to hear God's voice. And what I didn't realize was that God had already used a willing vessel to be his mouthpiece. And at that time, that was Prophetess Bonita. And yet I kept questioning and doubting. So I said, God, if this is truly you, please give me another sign. I don't know if y'all been there before, but I definitely said that. And I said, I want you to allow me to hear you clearly. Y'all, he kept confirming it within the past 2 years, but even stronger this year. That was through Bishop Ronald Flack. He told me it's okay to be weird and have it where people can't figure me out. But I have a high intellect about myself, and most weird people do. Now, I just thought that was too funny to me. But he told me to go on forth with my ideas for what helped thousands of youth. Shout out to Apostle Kevin Woods, who presented me a journal and told me that I was to journal all my emotions and things I felt and seen, for it would help a multitude and even ministries with my ideas. But I had to open my mouth. And when I tell you he's been one of my biggest supporters, I wholeheartedly mean that. And I truly do appreciate that. Last but not least, Prophet Bruce Rosario, who anointed my feet and put the fire up under my feet that pushed me to where we are today with the psyche in me. And when I say that was a whole experience, that's a whole experience. And but that would be for another time because I don't have time for that one. I just want to personally shout them out, y'all, and thank them for allowing God to use them just to reassure me. Now, before we go any further, I want to take a moment to introduce someone who will be walking alongside me in this vision. Psyche in me is not something I'm building alone. So, God has aligned me with a partner who believes in this work, who supports the mission, and helps bring balance, accountability, and perspective to what we're creating. I want to invite Brenda Hampton to share a little bit about her heart, her role, and why Psyche in Me matters to her.
Hi there, Psyche community. I am excited. As Brittany said, my name is Brenda Hampton, and I am the Psyche in Me Creator's Mom. I am honored to be a part of the Psyche in Me community. For me, it's not just a project or a platform, but it's a calling. Psyche in Me represents something we don't talk about enough, and that's the inner world that we carry but rarely feel safe enough to explore. Psychologically, the psyche is our mind, our thoughts, our emotions, memories, and even the parts of us that shape experiences we've never fully processed. Spiritually, it's our soul, our life force, identity, and breath. And what drew me to Psyche in Me is the truth that healing doesn't happen when we ignore either one. So many people are functioning, but they're not healed. They're smiling, but they're disconnected.
Come
They're
on.
faith filled, but they're emotionally exhausted. And this is a space that it exists for that to change. And so, my role in Psyche and Me is to help support the vision, hold space for honest conversations, and walk alongside people as they learn how to show up as their real, authentic selves, not the version that they perform to survive. You don't have to have it all together to belong here. You have to just be willing to be honest. And if you've ever felt misunderstood, unseen, unsure of who you really are beneath the roles and expectations, this is the community for you. We're not here to judge, we're
Mm.
here to grow, heal, and become whole. So I say again, welcome to the Psyche in Me. And I turn it back over to the founder, Miss Brittany Hampton.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yes.
So I truly do believe alignment matters, right? And I'm grateful for the partnership and support behind me with Psyche in Me. So with all of that being said, let's finally talk about the psyche, which I'm sure you all have been waiting for. The psychological meaning of psyche, right? So in psychology, the term psyche refers to totality of the human mind, including both conscious and unconscious processes. It includes a person's thoughts, emotions, memories, perceptions, even beliefs, motivations, and personality. But simply put, the psyche is the inner world that shapes how we think, how we feel, how we behave, and how we experience life. In clinical psychology, the psyche includes the conscious mind, right? And that means what we are aware of and what we can express. The unconscious mind are experiences that influence us without our awareness. The emotional and cognitive processes that guide relationships, coping, and identity. This is where healing, growth, trauma, and transformation occurs. Greek and ancient Greek. Guys, this was very, very intriguing to me. So, the meaning of psyche in the Greek and ancient Greek, psyche means breath, to breathe, life, or life force. It refers to what animates the body, what makes a person alive and uniquely themselves. This aligns with the Hebrew word nephesh, meaning living being or soul. So keep that in mind. Now, you can always rewind back to this to get the true meanings and understand it again. But the biblical meaning of psyche in the New Testament, it refers to the inner life of a person, the mind, emotions, desires, and will. And below, we have a few scriptures that you can take back and look at. Now, this one for John 10:11, the good shepherd lays down his life. Again, psyche means life for the sheep. The Bible distinguishes between spirit, which is pneuma, God, conscience, soul for psyche, which is the mind, emotions, and will, body, soma, which is the physical being, as reflected in First Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 23. In summary, in psychology, The psyche is the inner world of the mind and emotion. In Greek, it is the breath or life force. In the Bible, it is the soul or life of a person. Psyche in me exists in all intersection of mind, soul, faith, and purpose. And y'all, this is just the beginning. Making it simple on why this matters at the most basic level. Your psyche, y'all, is where you learn who you are. When you begin to understand your thoughts, your emotions, your wounds, your patterns, and experiences, you start uncovering your identity. As my mom said, it's not the version you perform, but it's the version that's real. And we need realness in this day and time. And for those who are spiritual, knowing who you are adds another layer, another purpose, calling, and direction. But here's the truth: many of us, and I can be including myself, has been given dressed up rehearsals instead of authentic conversations. And when we've learned how to look okay instead of how to be okay, some people are just deeply rooted in faith. Some are questioning. Some are rebuilding. Some are still trying to figure out and understand their inner world. And that's okay. All of you are welcome here. And I want to make that very, very clear. All of you are welcome here. Psyche in me is about honesty over performance, healing over pretending, and purpose over pressure. When the psyche begins to heal, purpose begins to awaken, y'all, because
Yes.
clarity comes from within. Within. And that's the work we're doing here. And so, what the next steps we'll be taking, y'all. In our next video, we'll be going live and we'll even go deeper, including the logo reveal and the meaning behind it. So please, please, please make sure you stay connected. And when I say it gets deep about the logo, it gets deep. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching.
And one thing I would like to say before we end this is to please make sure that you are interactive in this community. We want to hear your thoughts, we want to
Yes.
hear your opinions, and we want you to be open. If you have questions, please make sure you drop it in the comments because we don't want to be a community where we're doing all the talking and there's no feedback. So
That's
it's
right.
an interactive community. So I wanted to say that before we end. Because
Yes.
that's something very dear to me and Brittany is we want to make sure that this is helping you and that we are here to be a help. And so I just wanted to encourage you, stay connected to us by communicating with us. That's all I wanted to say.
I thank you for that. That is so true.
Yeah.
And while y'all staying connected to us, just how we're learning from you or you're learning from us per se, we're also learning from you and we're
Yes.
growing in this thing together. We don't
Yes.
have all the answers. We don't know everything. We are not perfect.
Amen.
But together as a community, y'all, we can rebuild this thing. We can get our purpose, find our purpose, get our strength from one another. We know our strength comes from God, but you guys get what I'm saying for the community. So, like she said, please, please, please share. Please interact with us. We do have a Gmail that will be posted on the group page. Make sure you look at that group page daily. Our live will go on Tuesday, January the 6th at 7 o'clock p.m. So be ready for all your questions and
Yes.
commentaries. We love y'all.